that every warrior is also a little boy. We understand this from the practical experience. All of us who want to win in life, who somehow want to have this warrior spirit, right? Struggle. It is interesting. The Holy Scripture always teaches us that so we can get there, we need to have a warrior spirit, but not in the sense of making war against each other, but wanting to overcome our daily battle. And there are many passages that show us God in this experience of strengthening the people to the struggle, to what needs to be the one battle. And it is interesting that the poet suggests that every good warrior is also a little boy, perhaps so that we can understand what Jesus says, that for us to enter the kingdom of heaven, we need to be like the children, because the child is very honest. It is very spontaneous. She is not hiding the feelings she has. And that consists of your strength, isn't it? Because a child, she is very fragile. Childhood is a moment of much fragility. She can't defend herself. She has no way to organize life on her own. That's why she needs to cry. She needs to manifest that she is in need of help. Because if she does not manifest, if she does not put out the need for help, she will not receive the necessary help. And in this consists of a strength too, having the courage to prove to be fragile. To have the courage to say that there is a need in the heart. Interesting, my people, but how many times in life we fail precisely because we don't know how to show fragility? How many times in life do we lose important people for us precisely because we don't know how to show fragility? We don't know how to ask for forgiveness. We can't say that you missed. It somehow exposes us fragile, right? When you have that need to say, I'm sorry because I made a mistake with you. This is being a warrior, and that is being a boy. Warrior because you keep fighting for what is important to you. You go there to regain what you consider special. But it's also a boy because you will have this simplicity to know, I was wrong. I need you. When you have the courage to demonstrate that there is a fragility in you, and that this fragility is not to embarrass you, but it is to put you on the right track of what you need to achieve. Life in God, the beautiful experience of incarnate spirituality, of this that helps us to be better in our daily lives, teaches us that we need to reconcile all the time within us. The warrior's strength and courage, but simplicity and the boy's smallness. For every day we will need to live these two dimensions of life, strength and fragility, helping another. Because if we dissociate these two realities, if we want to be just a warrior, it is possible that we are going to hurt a lot of people. When we are taken from a warrior spirit without also having the soul of the boy, we risk going out in constant battlefields, struggling, fighting, killing the people who are on our side, hurting a lot of people. But if we bring together the boy's soul, we will know how to make this fight be more tender, and then we will live more balanced, conquering in life, fighting for our goals, but without losing the sensitivity that makes us go back. Correct what did not work. Ask for forgiveness. Start over. Things that are typical of children, right? Because sometimes the child, especially when she is well polite, she lives very beautifully this simplicity in the context of a child's heart. A child, for example, she is not lost in many things. She knows what she loves, and she cries for what she loves. She screams for what she loves. She shouts every time she feels she's being threatened. These are things in life. They are phases of life. That, of course, we are maturing. We lose this predominance of childhood about us. But there are so many aspects of childhood that we need to rediscover after large, and one of them is this simplicity. That we need to know how to cry. We need to know how to show the fragility that exists in us. Because when we dress in a lot of arrogance, we sometimes lose precious opportunities because of it. How many times people go away from our lives precisely because we didn't know be simple? We got too arrogant, we were very ready, right? You thought that wearing this string of strength, people will respect you a little more. No, this is silly. Much more than being respected by the other, we need to be loved, to be really welcomed. This authority that makes others afraid of us does not help much in life. But what is truly different is the moment when we can have this beautiful balance. The other knows us. The other knows what we have strong. But the other also knows what we have fragile. And then we are looking for making this fight, making this search so that we can reach this point, this place that is so interesting, and that is so characteristic of the people who truly knew how to send these two forces, and who truly knew how to build themselves in a right way. Father, how to have the strength and courage to assume Jesus as our Lord before society, how to adopt a different stance from the vast majority of young people, and how to evangelize them. My son, we have to go through the experience of being a witness to Jesus in today's world is what we consider as a very strong word, right? A testimony. What is you to testify? It is you to demonstrate with your life that something did you good. I can bear witness to a product I used. I can bear witness to a reality that I lived. I can bear witness to a city that I experienced. It is a knowledge of the cause, we say. Knowledge of cause is what was the deepest. I am aware of the cause. That is, I deepened the subject. Jesus' experience before being an idea in our head, or even better, let's explain it better. At first, it is an idea in the head, yes. After being an idea in the head because you once heard of him, stayed here and an idea came into your head, you have assimilated a form of knowledge, information about a person. But having information about the city, about the person is not enough for us to say that you have known it. See how in the world of ideas is not everything complete? Now, from the moment you have the information and you go there in loco to know, that is, you have the information received, but you go to the experience. Then, in fact, you met. Jesus is the same thing. Before, we heard about him. Now you go through the experience of meeting you. As diving into the mystery of his word, the gospel is the best way for us to know Jesus. It's knowing how he did it, how he acted, how he was, how he had friends, what he recommended. All of this is a way to meet Jesus. Try it through the sacraments, right? You try it on the Eucharist. You try it on confession, or you who are from another religion. You also have your rights within your religion. Meet Jesus like this, becoming his friend, intimate with him. And then you start witnessing you because you not only heard about it, but in fact it happened in your life. I find it very beautiful, Andre, who in the gospel has that passage where the Samaritan, after having known Jesus and made of him an experience, because that time she spent with Jesus talking there on the edge of the well, was a true experience that she made him. Jesus showed it his mercy and enveloped her in a new possibility of life. This is wonderful. That woman was with her whole life bankrupt. Jesus reopened the life of that woman. It is very rare in life for us to be looked in such a way. Looks that reopen us. Someone who causes something new and good inside us, we never forget. And that's what happened to that woman. After being reopened, after having had her life modified, she ran to tell her friends, the Samaritans. And she started telling like this. Look, I met a man and Papa. From the first sentence, what she knew from ideas, but especially what her heart experienced with Jesus. What truly changed and gave authority to the Samaritan's speech was not the fact that he listened to Jesus, having met Jesus. No, it was his experience. She had her life transformed, so much that it is beautiful, because the biblical passage says, then the disciples come back and they say, look, we believe what you're talking about. But it's because we saw it too. We also experienced. We are not going after only your word. When we experience Jesus in our lives, we begin to witness him with our lives as well. It's our way of living. So your friends will pay attention to you and think it's worth knowing Jesus because they find your lifestyle interesting. Andre is a boy who believes in God. He has his religion there. He is a good person. He is a person who does not deceive anyone. He is a person who is a fan of truth. He is an honest person. He is a person who respects the girls he dates. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drug. He doesn't smoke. See, the gospel, the strength of Jesus that changed his heart and made him like this. A man without addictions, a man of virtues, then began to disturb those who are seeing you. Bother in a good way. And this is the most important, Andre. We are taking care that our way of living can convince others to live like that too. It is not about having someone holding our hand, body beside physical presence. What undoes loneliness is feeling together, the thought that puts us in communion. The worst loneliness is the one we lived with, and it is so easy for us to turn our bonds into accompanied solitude. A careless and the presence stops accompanying. When we lose what we have in common, when we stop cultivating the other, we will close the doors of what we have in common. That unites us, that puts us in communion. We have spoken so much that we need to avoid agglomerations these days. And I keep thinking, how many times the family is limited to being a cluster of people? Yes, when we lose intimacy, when we stop cultivating love, responsibility, we just be a family agglomeration. And then, unfortunately, you sleep in bed with the same man for so long, but have no communion with him. You embrace your children, but you don't realize a bond with them anymore. They are increasingly distant, more lost. It's time to do something. Identifying that you have been a victim of loneliness accompanied should ascend within you the desire to modify this situation. Cultivate the bond with the people you love. One-on-one intimacy, which has been prohibited today. Yes, our relationships are increasingly sterile, without intimacy, empty. Let us not allow it, because it is the communion that we establish with the people who become the basis of our joys.
As we conclude this spiritual exploration on Path of Faith, we invite you to engage with us by leaving your comments, liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to our channel for regular doses of uplifting messages.